previous update, we went over this pattern here that called for a top for our Subwave 5 at around 195, 196, right in that range. And unlike with most other cryptocurrencies, we had an A wave pullback that hit the top of our 38.2% retrace. And then we had a strong B wave bounce that took us a good bit higher, all the way up to 215. Ever since then, we had a grinding C wave correction, and we actually did hit our bottom right at about 115 on September 21st. So we did capture this in our last update. Since that point, we have been rallying in what I'm calling a 5-wave rally. So you could count this a number of different ways. You could maybe this is the one and that's a 2, or the whole thing is a leading diagonal for a first wave. Not totally clear. I wouldn't say it's the prettiest thing, but it's rallied high enough and we're seeing enough bullishness across the rest of the crypto space that I'm going to call our wave 2 done. So we appear to have a Subwave 1 and a Subwave 2 complete already. If you were looking to buy, the past several weeks were a great opportunity to top off your positions in Solana with larger lump sums. I know I did, but from here onwards, just as with all the other cryptocurrencies I have covered, the safest thing to do will be to dollar cost average, because as prices climb, your risk level increases. You're not going to get the same low cost purchases as you would have over the past several weeks. Now, while this Subwave 1 doesn't look as great as I would like it to look, Solana does have a history of somewhat weakish first waves and shallow wave 2 retraces followed by explosive third waves. In the near term, however, I will keep our support at the previous low of 115, 116. I don't see any reason why that should be of any relevance anytime in the near future. The support I'd really rather hold is 152, actually about 152.78. That is marked with this red line here. I do not want any pullbacks to go any lower than this. And as we move up, we'll move the supports up. In the big picture logarithmic chart, you'll see that we've had another shallow wave 2 retrace, and we do have 2 patterns present. So I will go over the more bullish purple pattern first because it more closely aligns with the patterns we're seeing across the crypto space. This pattern calls for our top back earlier this year in May of having been a 5-wave impulse top or a larger wave 1. And this rally that we just completed in September is a subwave 1 of a larger third wave. If that is the case, our logarithmic projection for those Subwave 3 are targeting between 2,327 and 3,308, right in that range. Our projections are a little bit lower because I am perceiving this as being a diagonal pattern, and diagonals typically don't extend as high as a standard impulse pattern. Getting to that target would require us to get through a bunch of strong resistances, one of which is at 567. There's another strong resistance right around the 1,200 range with a lot of confluence. So it might not be easy sailing up to that point, but if we do make it to the bottom of our box to 2327, that would be an 11 plus X return from where we are right now. If we can hold on for a 4th wave consolidation, our Subwave 5 is targeting between 3,308 and 5,840. So those are some pretty monumental targets there. Hitting the lower end of that box at 3,308 would give us a 16 plus X return from where we are right now. And the top of that box would give us a 28X return. So our projections are looking much higher in Solana than other cryptocurrencies. And that is, of course, because our Subwave 1 has rallied much higher and more strongly than pretty much anything else that I'm tracking, and our wave 2 was relatively shallow. Now, there is an alternate pattern here, which is green, and this green pattern stipulates that we had a third wave and that we are in the middle of a 5th wave that is about to top. This entire rally, once we complete, would in and of itself be a large 5-wave impulse. If that's the case, we have probable targets in the $500 to $600 range. There's confluence in this whole region, so I'm not making a specific projection at the moment, but those targets would match up with what you typically expect to see in a 5th wave extension. If the green pattern does come to fruition, we're going to see a pretty colossal crash, which is marked with this wave 2 here. This is just arbitrary. I'll have better projections of where we would see the correction take us if that were to happen. Speaking of corrections, even for the purple pattern, provided that we can keep rallying, and of course I'll adjust these targets and patterns as the rest of the structure develops, this top should coincide with a major cryptocurrency top we will see in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are hitting what is the top of a large 5-wave impulse that spans 5, 6, 7 years, and the ensuing crash will be massive in Bitcoin and Ethereum. That would be a great time to take profits in both of those cryptocurrencies, but altcoins as well, because no matter how you cut it, I do expect to see a sizable correction there, and you don't want to lose all your profits. We may enter a bear market that could possibly last several months or even multiple years. But in the meantime, as we approach the top, I'll have more guidance on how you can diversify or take your profits, possibly reinvest into equities or stable coins or anything else. If you like my video, don't forget to like and please subscribe for continuing updates on Solana and various other cryptocurrencies. Thank you for watching. Until next time, happy trading.